So I know that was kind of a long interview, but I wanted to see the whole thing because, people will post just these just clips to get likes and whatnot, and you won't get the whole story. So I just wanted to watch the whole interview to see everything that they talked about. And I guess it was accurate because the only really question that was very meaningful, I guess, was the one about Obi-Wan and how they were planning on making her related to Obi-Wan in some way, shape, or form in the first movie. And in the second movie, Homeboy, whoever the director was, the new director that came in, he was just kind of like, yeah, no, we're gonna make her nobody. And then in the third film, they're like, oh no, by the way, Palpatine's back, and yeah, you know what? He's your grandfather. So that was a thing, and now I'm just kind of like, how do I feel about that? Because to be honest with you, if they would have made her related to Obi-Wan, Obi-Wan is my favorite. He's my favorite light side character. Let's just put it like that. My favorite character in all of Star Wars is Darth Maul, but my favorite light side character is Obi-Wan by far, and then probably Anakin. Because I believe Obi-Wan is basically the true hero of the story. But that is a story for another time. But my point being, Obi-Wan's one of my favorite characters, and if they would have made Ray related to him, I don't know if I would have really cared about that. I mean, her being related to Palpatine is kind of cooler to me personally. Um, I would have if she was just related to nobody. I don't think I would have liked that if they would just stay with the oh your parents are nobody, because that wouldn't explain how she's so good at everything. I mean, it's they still never really explained it. How can she pilot? How can she know how to speak to Wookiees? How does she know how to speak to droids? How is she just like this natural fighter? She's just so natural with the Force, with everything. She's just good at everything. She has no flaws really, and I guess they explain a little bit of that with her being related to Palpatine. I mean, if she was related to Obi Wan, I mean that wouldn't really. I mean, I guess it would explain like the Force and the fighting. I guess, but I don't know, man. I kind of like that. She was related to Palpatine instead. I know people are mad saying that they wish that they would have more gone in more of the Obi Wan route, but I don't see that being like a that would make the her character any deeper or the story any stronger. I mean, I mean, and as much as people want to fantasize with the fandom and all, with that being a reality, Obi-Wan's a Jedi, and Jedi's they don't do that. And yes, like you could probably they could have probably stretched it and said, "Oh, when Obi-Wan had his girlfriend in Clone Wars, I don't remember her name, the but she was like the one of the rulers of Mandalore." And if they would have said, "Oh, Obi-Wan, while he was a Jedi, he had something going with her, and they had a child," and I mean, that still wouldn't make sense because Ray would be a lot older if that was the case, but she's not. So, and Obi Wan was dead, by A New Hope. He died in A New Hope, so he died when Luke was basically still a kid when Luke was like 18. So that would make zero sense. So I'm glad that they didn't do that. Or I mean, she Obi Wan could have been her grandfather, I mind you, but I mean that would have been a huge push. I mean, it was a push with Palpatine. Um, but like I said, I, that doesn't really concern me. Her origins, because she's just her character. It doesn't matter what her origin is. Her character's still basically perfect. The only thing that she kind of struggles with, I can see from the films, is like her kind of like her temper. Like she fights very aggressively, and she can just be very impulsive. Ray can be very impulsive to do the right thing, of course, but there's always two sides to the same coin. She can be impulsive to do the right thing, but then again, she could be impulsive to do the wrong thing. And I feel like that's why she was another popular candidate as far as for Palpatine. I mean, Obviously, he wanted Kylo as well, but I mean, I feel like Rey was a good candidate for him. But anyway, I feel like the thing that people are mainly uh, upset about is that the film had no direction, and that is the main thing I wanted to touch on as well. Is that you have these millions of dollars, you bought the you bought one of the best fandoms, one of the most popular fucking like fandoms ever, fucking Star Wars, and you have all these resources, all this Disney money. You could have brought anybody in. You could have got anybody to help you out with these films, and you still have trouble finding like a solid story for all three movies. And it's like I understand you brought Abrams in for two of the movies, and you brought a different director in for the second movie. I understand that. But you guys had time. You had time from they didn't have to release another Star Wars movies. It was perfect the way it was with the prequels and the trilogy. You didn't have to add on to it. So my thing is if you're Disney, right? And you decide, okay, I'm going to add on to the Star Wars these films looked at as legendary, as like some of the greatest science fiction films of all time. Some of the greatest films of all time. Let me just repeat it. People like grew up. This has a special place in people's heart. It's special to people. Like Star Wars touches people, even though the story is so it may not seem that deep on the outside, but people who actually look into Star Wars and all the who've watched the movies multiple times like me and who I've seen like all the intricacies, all the different subliminal messages. I don't want to say subliminal messages, but like what's the word I'm looking for? All the different foreshadowings and just the character development and all the little what do you call them? The little fucking what the fuck do you call it? Uh all the fucking like Easter eggs and like little tokens, little nuggets that they throw in Star Wars from that you see in the newer films, for like all the throwbacks to like Empire Strikes Back and all the throwbacks to like A New Hope and all all the and just as the characters, it's really the characters of Star Wars are so deep. They are so deep and they actually go through traumatic things. They go through loss and they have to make those choices of am I going to be a good person? Am I going to be a bad person? Am I going to stay loyal to what I've committed to? Or, I have a problem with the faction that I've committed my life to, and how do I resolve that? How do I resolve these feelings? How do I resolve these feelings for those people that I love and I'm told that I'm not supposed to love them? Or how do I, stay on this journey? There's so many different life lessons that people learn from Star Wars, and just I'm probably going to cut this video down, of course, but like there's so many things and people Star Wars is special to people. It really is. It's special to me cuz I've been watching all the movies since I was a kid. I'm 24 now and I've been watching them since I was in elementary school, over and over again. I can't tell you how many times I watched episode 1 as a kid because I just love Darth Maul. I love the scene. I love even though he wasn't in the movie that much, I could not get over the scene where he fights Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan. I That is one of the coolest scenes of all time, between everything, between anime, movies, TV shows, you name it. It's one of the best, I believe. And I loved that as a kid. And I personally, episode 1 is my favorite personally, but episode 3, critically, I believe episode 3 is the best Star Wars movie. But going aside from that, what I'm trying to say is Star Wars is special to me and special to many others. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people in other videos have said the same. So my point is, in saying all that, is you have this franchise that you bought. that's basically perfect. It doesn't need more movies, but you say, you know what? I want to make more movies. And you get the people excited. The people are excited. They're like, oh my gosh, they're making new Star Wars movies. Oh my gosh! And you throw out the trailer. You throw out the trailer, and this guy he has a lightsaber that looks like a sword. It looks like a sword. It has like a cross guard, or I guess that's what you call it, like a cross guard on its lightsaber. Amazing. He's a new villain, and you have this new female protagonist who looks awesome. It's like people are excited, and you don't even have a plan for it. It's just all bullshit. It's just all hype. And it's fucking ridiculous, man. It's really ridiculous because it's like, you know what that tells me? Them not knowing what to do with Ray. Your main character, the main character of the fucking franchise, the main character of the fucking movies, the main character of the movies. I'm going to say it again. The main character of the movies. We don't have a clear story for her. We don't have a clear origin story for her. Why is she so good with the lightsaber? Why is she so natural with the lightsaber? We don't know. Why is she so natural with the force? We don't know. Why is she so adept with everything? We don't know. Why is she so set on being this good person? We don't know. Why is she so set on finding her family? We don't know. Why did her family leave her there? We don't know. We'll make it up as we go along. Uh, let's bring this director, and you can figure that out, right? The last director, he was kind of moving in this direction, but you're free to do whatever you want. You're free to go move in a direction that you feel is right, you know. And like I said, I'm not one of those Star Wars fans to where I hate the sequels. No, by no means. Let's make that shit clear now. I love the sequels. I'm a huge prequels fan. Prequels are my favorite, and I love the trilogy too. But let's just get that right. I do not hate the sequels. I love them. I love Force Awakens. I love Last Jedi. I love fucking The Rise of Skywalker because they're Star Wars movies. Something one of my friends said, I'm just happy they're making another Star Wars movie, or I'm just happy, Star Wars, just Star Wars. I'm just happy for Star Wars. Now, can I be critical of that? Yes. I love them, but I can still set those feelings aside and be critical of a movie. Oh yes, there are things that I would have done differently, and I believe they should have done differently. But that's besides the point. The point is, you had no direction for your main character. It's obvious with the original trilogy. Uh, George Lucas had a clear, cut out plan for Luke from the get go. That Luke was gonna see his mentor die in front of him by his father, but he's still gonna go and redeem his father. He's gonna find out that his father is this evil person, this evil, basically general of the Empire, the people who basically control the galaxy. His dad is basically the mightiest warrior that everyone fears in the galaxy. Everybody knows his name. Everybody knows that he's committed genocide on the Jedi. Everybody knows that he's this dark, evil person. He's just this feared figure. And Luke says, "No, I'm gonna redeem my father." That was Luke's character from the get go, and I bet you can ask George Lucas from the moment you wrote those movies. Did you know what Luke's resolve would be? He would say yes. The same thing goes for Anakin. Did you know? Did you pick the perfect person that you felt was going to play Anakin correctly in the way you thought he should be portrayed, the way that you wrote him out, the way that you imagined he would be, what you wanted him to go through, the traumatic things he went through? I'm pretty sure George Lucas would tell you, yes, I had a clear cut view of how this amazing story of how Anakin would slowly he would start off as a kid in episode 1, he would slowly become Darth Vader. He would start off as a normal child, just a normal kid like anyone else. I mean, mind you, he was a slave, but that's just an argument for another time. But with Rey, Disney gets a hold of the company, and Rey's her origin story. I can imagine them saying her origin story is not that important. It doesn't have to, and I would have liked that more. To be honest, I mean, yes, part of me likes the fact that being the granddaughter of Palpatine kind of explains how she's kind of good at everything because Palpatine's just so powerful. So I rock with that. I like that. But if you would have just left it a mystery of how she's so good at everything, I mean, sure, leave it a mystery. Just say that you want to leave it a mystery the whole time. But don't flip flop and say, "Oh, we're gonna make some type of Kenobi connection." Oh, now she's nobody. Oh, now actually she's Palpatine's granddaughter. It's like she I even said that while she was acting, she didn't really know who the character's origin was while she was acting. Like, how can you when you're acting, I would imagine, I've never acted before, but I would imagine that you really want to get into character. You really want to read into this character and to really portray what the whoever the is coming up with the scripts and all that, whoever that is, you want to really betray what they're trying to get across. And if the character has no origin, how can you really get into that? How can you really grasp who the character is supposed to be? The character is just going to be it's just going to be all over the place. I mean, yes, the origin has nothing to do with what the character's doing in the then and now, mind you, but still, the origin story is one of the most. I feel like it's very important to characters. Let's look at superheroes, for instance. Look at Spider Man's origin story. Look at Batman's origin story. Look at Superman's origin story. The origin story is iconic. The origin story is important. And you're just gonna say, "Oh, well, it doesn't really matter." Oh, you figure something out? We don't really care. People are gonna watch Star Wars movies. People are gonna buy our merchandise anyway. So who gives a fuck, right? Who gives a fuck about Ray's story? Well, that's the problem, Disney. People give a fuck. And yes, some people can get too into things and they can, become rude about things or become very obsessive about things. I understand that. Yes, but people get that way because they care about things, because they love things. That's why people get that way about things. That's why people will look up every single detail and look at every single hint in the movie to try and figure out what this character's origin story is, because that's how fucking important it is to them. That's how much they want to relate to these characters. If you're the fucking franchise, if you're the fucking I'm getting fucking angry talking about this. If you're the fucking face of the Star Wars franchise, you are the fucking face of the Star Wars franchise right now. Ray, if you are the face of the franchise, people are going to look into what your story is. People want to really relate to your character. People care. That's why they spend money to go see the movies. That's why they buy the t-shirts. That's why they buy the toys. That's why they buy the lightsabers. That's why they fucking visit Star Wars Land. Because they fucking care. It's fucking important to them. So why the fuck does Rey not have a fucking solid origin story going into this fucking multi-million-dollar fucking movies? You have fucking millions of dollars to make these movies. You spend millions of dollars to make these movies. $1 million budgets. You can give the people what they want. You can find somebody out there to make a good origin story for Ray. You can find the best writers. You can find the best everything. So why? Why is it so hard? You have these directors that say they're these huge Star Wars fans. So why the fuck? Why the fuck is I don't know the story, and I have to do my fucking research. But why the fuck is Abrams only trying to stay on for one Star Wars movie? Why are you changing fucking directors? Get a fucking someone. I don't care if it's a fucking director, a fucking producer, whoever. Get them with somebody with a fucking clear vision, and somebody who's not gonna just fucking make a movie for you and then leave and just be on their way. George Lucas, yes, he only mainly directed episode 4 and everybody else directed. I don't know if he directed for the prequels. I'd have to look that up, but I know he only directed mainly on episode 4 and somebody else directed 5 and 6. I believe I know that for a fact. But he still oversaw everything. He made sure everything was going in a direction that he wrote it out to be. So it's like, bro, come on, Disney. Come on, Disney. I'm not trying to make this video to just to bash you guys. I love you guys, man. I'm a huge Kingdom Hearts fan, a huge Star Wars fan. Like I love you guys, Disney, but come on, bro. Y'all have millions of dollars. Why are y'all playing around with the fans? If you make the fans happy, that's more money in your pocket. That is more money in your fucking pocket. So why? Why you play these games with people? Y'all have enough money. I understand you can be greedy and all that shit. Sure, do whatever you want in the shadows, man. But just make the people happy. People fucking care about your shit, man. So, bro, like you got me on this whole fucking tangent, this whole fucking rant. But that shit's ridiculous. It's not even ridiculous. It's unacceptable, really. If you're gonna make all this money off of Star Wars, make it fucking cool. Please. Look how many fucking Star Wars games I have on my shit, on my desktop. I'm about this life. I play this game. I play this game. I play this game. I don't just have them there just to look cute. I actually play them. Are they the best games ever? No. And that will be a separate video as far as EA's decisions on Star Wars. That's a whole nother rant in itself. But I will, at least this game was fixed. This game was fixed. This game has so much content I can't even describe. This game has so much content and updates. As far as in this game too with updates. So, well, I can be critical of them, but I'm just pointing out the good things in them right now. So what I'm trying to say is Disney, man. Disney. Whatever, if you plan on making more Star Wars movies, please just have a clear vision, man. Just have a clear vision. Hire some real Star Wars fans, not just some director that says he grew up watching Star Wars. That's sure, that's cool and all, but that doesn't mean you can make a good Star Wars movie. Get some people on a board who know about Star Wars. Get them all to agree on a storyboard or where the story should go, what the character development should be, and stick with it. Yes, there's always room for artistic, for improvisation, and there's always room for that. Yes, but just have a clear set vision for what you're going to do with Star Wars next. What I recommend is make Old Republic movies. This game right here, the KOTOR games, I could show you. I could show you my Steam library. KOTOR 2. I played KOTOR 1 on the Xbox One. Make movies about this. You can do that next. People would like it. You got some great actors for the Star Wars movies that just passed. You had some great actors. Get some great actors again and have a solid story. Let the actors know what the origin story of their characters. Maybe a little bit of give them hints of what their characters going towards, what their characters going through maybe. And don't just give them this fucking dry ass character and say, "Hey, you're a girl and she's from a planet called Jakku and yeah, she ends up being on with the Jedi's and shit." Don't give people a fucking bland ass concept like that. Give them better concepts. You guys know how to make movies, so don't ruin the whole Star Wars thing. I know you own it, but don't. I know you guys believe that Star Wars is gonna be a thing forever, no matter how much you guys fuck up. And I believe that to a certain extent. But then again, nothing lasts forever. If you guys don't get on your shit, one day people are just gonna be like, "Hey, you know what? I don't give a fuck about Star Wars. Who gives a fuck?" And they're gonna stop buying your shit. They're gonna stop. They're gonna not care anymore. You know why? Because you keep fucking up. You keep doing dumb shit when you have the money to do smart shit. So come on, Disney. That's my little rant on how I feel about that. Daisy Ridley, you're an amazing actor. I love what you did with Ray, even though you weren't given all the best